Alright, hey, what's up everybody? This is Agaskally Stanis from GearWorks.com and the E2KG Network podcasting channel on YouTube, here with another episode of Firearms Tales here on the Rounding Off Infinity channel on YouTube or page on Facebook, if that's where you are joining from live, or if you're watching the archive version on YouTube. And as I mentioned in the tweet, if you saw that, little discombobulated tonight. I was on travel over the weekend, so it's a little rough getting back into it. So don't know what's going on. Guess I didn't verify my lighting setup here before I went live and got started. I'm gonna try and get this mounted up where I normally have it. Come on. This is really aggravating. Okay. Not quite. Alright, apparently I do not have that plugged in for power where I normally have it, so leave it down here. So I also went live without doing a audio mix balance check. Now, I was at this exact same workstation last time, and the audio mix balance was fine, but I was playing Dying Light, not Destiny 2, so we're going to get gaming here for a little bit, and then I'm going to take a break and check it to see if the audio mix balance is okay. So I apologize if it is not optimized right now. Now, what we are doing tonight is I'm working on the E2KG Network podcasting channel on YouTube. No. That can't be right? Because I've completed. So I do not understand why I'm not seeing. This might be a problem. Okay. We're just gonna have to go to the city anyway. What I'm supposed to be doing tonight, or what I'm trying to do tonight, is working on the E2KG Network podcasting channel, specifically the Enough to Keep Going weekly gaming podcast homework assignment for the top of the month of October. And what we had slated is we were supposed to be checking out games with faction and reputation systems in them. I stumbled on that idea after reading some of the developer interviews for the upcoming 2019 release of the game Dying Light 2. Now, I had never played the original Dying Light, so I wanted to go back and check out the original game to see what the developers had implemented for a faction or reputation system. And the answer is not really anything. It really wasn't present in the first game. And now, a few things have gone on. Number one, I came down with a bad cold last week.
Welcome, Guardian. We're just settling in.
Nah, I don't want to talk to you.
The EDZ needs our help, Guardian. Get out there.
This is vault access. Now, what I have never done in the Destiny games is I've never bothered getting into the faction systems. Now, I had thought that I would be able to do so at this point, since I've completed the main campaign and I've never even seen that part of the city over there. Because what I had wanted to do was, this is Zavala, right? Right.
With a hunter too.
Because I wanted to enlist with one of these factions and explore. The impact of said faction systems on gameplay, but I
don't get too distracted by the new setup, Guardian.
Rogue Light Bearer.
Checking right away.
Now, I only read the most basic descriptions of the factions in this game, and I know that they have been around since Destiny 1. And one could argue that I should know about these things, but I don't.
We drove the Red Legion out.
Because I didn't want to play that stuff before. So now, of course, I'm struggling to get started. Well, let's at least check that out. Maybe that'll give me a clue. Oh. Now, if you don't know the shtick,
See you. Let's talk. Welcome to Gambit, kid. Call me Drifter. Here you're gonna compete against another fire team in a hunt for the enemies of humanity. I name them, you kill them. Now they're gonna leave some stuff behind. Pick them up and drop them in the bank as proof that you're doing your job. Better you do your job, the rougher you make it for the other team. But there's a twist. Y'all are gonna have to go knuckles face to face with the other team from time to time. And let me tell you, if there's one thing I've learned
great.
on my travels, nothing kills a guardian faster than another guardian.
Now, that was not my plan or my intent.
Ready to be bad guys.
Great. Now, is this a thing that they have turned on for this season and the regular faction stuff isn't on? It's a little bothersome.
Hey, you're telling me what you
unfortunately accepted this thing. Probably gonna go out and get myself all kinds of messed up by other fire teams. Ah! What I had really been looking to do was just to sign on with Dead Orbit or Future Warfare or whatever they're called. Great. You would figure that the time that I actually needed to get into some of that mess would be the time that I couldn't or simply can't figure it out. Great.
Eververse isn't just a title, it's a family philosophy. Always another life, and forever another tomorrow. Church, there's a lot of fantastic things.
Gambit.
I tend to believe.
Ah.
Need some new moves, Guardian? Maybe a new look? Don't know where my uncle fights.
Great. Now we're getting into elements of the game that I don't particularly care for. Brother Vance in the lighthouse.
The same never comes in. Eververse isn't just a title, it's a family philosophy. Always another mile, and forever another tomorrow.
Now, one of my problems is defeat a prime evil to win a round. Prime evil was defeated. Yeah, but how does that tell me where to go?
Eververse deals in all manners.
It kind of doesn't. Great. So Vanguard, Forsaken. Great. Now this Gambit stuff would be fine
Something new.
if I could just figure it out within game where I was supposed to head. Very frustrating. No tribe currently tracked. Oh, great. Great. Defeat a prime evil to win a round.
Eververse deals in all manner of
I don't even know. Alright, well, I guess I'm bouncing off of that. It's really aggravating. Let's go after this one. Chances and choices on Titan. It's for Slime.
Great. Needless to say, I sent the whole shipment back to Venture.
Okay.
She said she wanted to express herself, so I gave her a thumbs up.
So I guess maybe this will be one of the things to comment on is this is one of the things that bugs me with Destiny 2 is I like the game that's present at your fingertips. I don't like being forced to go off and Google stuff online or look stuff up to figure out how the heck to get at some of the content that's supposed to be here. So it's bothersome if to understand the gambit I've got to go look something up. Not even quite certain right now that I feel like being bothered by anything here. Whoa, what was that? I do not have my triple jump armed apparently. What do we got? What's going on here? Yeah, that's not patrol, okay. Was that I believe I saw a loot crate. Oh, Captain, my Captain. There it is. Nice. Always like it when you pick up a shader. So once again, my name is Gascally Statements from GearWorks.com. Actually, before I get into the next tip, let me go ahead and see if I can get into the thingamabob here and check. Hey, what's up, Dominic? Sorry I didn't catch you in the chat there earlier. I'm going to try and scrub back and see if my audio mix balance is set properly, so give me just 1 second. It's set properly, so give me just 1 second. Alright, so the audio mix didn't sound horribly off. I'm hoping it's reasonably on. If anything, the in-game volume might be a little too quiet, but I hesitate to bump it up without more time to test. But you know what? Alright, so I did bump up the in-game volume a little bit. Hopefully that'll make things sound a little bit better and you can hear the game audio a little easier. So once again, my name is Gascally Samus from GearWorks.com, the E2KG Network podcasting channel on YouTube. Here with another live stream, late night live stream, directly to Facebook, which is where I'm experimenting with live streams this month. Whoa, okay. Now this might be a little interesting. Make the jump, make the jump! No, 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 you monkeyed that up. I might just have to. Oh. You might be able to salvage this. No! Okay, so if you don't know the shtick, the whole thing about rounding off infinity, the main thing, is that I spend a lot of time doing hardware reviews, service reviews, and application reviews of tools and things used by streamers. And things you use to just create, to do local game captures as well. So, video game capture cards, microphones, headsets, the Elgato Stream Deck. You know, pretty much whatever comes out for streamers and creating video content, video game content, the stuff that I try and get a hold of and do reviews and testing of for a very long time, since I've been reviewing tech. Off and on for about 20 years.
We know just where it is. Dropping coordinates now.
The problem is that Fallen kept been one step ahead of us this whole time.
So we do this fast. We've got this, Commander.
But one of my main things about reviewing hardware is that I don't do what you'll typically find in like tech media, tech journalism, which is, you know, if somebody's going to review, say, a phone or a laptop, they use it for a week. If you're lucky, they use it for 2 weeks. And then they get done and they write a review and they say this is a good or a bad thing. Whereas my personal feeling is you don't really know if a phone is any good until you've really lived with it for a couple months, usually about 3, I would say. And so, you know, for the longest time, like I said, going back to when I would do tech reviews of hardware and devices, What is... Whoa! That's the problem. You're ignoring what the hell's going on over there. I would typically not say that I'd reviewed something until... Well, I would never say that I'd reviewed something within a week or 2 weeks, right? I would get a hold of a device. I would do like a 2-month impressions write-up. Things like that. So, kind of the same thing here on Rounding Off Infinity. So I obtain these various pieces of equipment, and I test them for months at a time. Use them in different configurations and different setups and different use cases. And really kind of try and thrash them and determine what works well and what doesn't. I should also apologize. So I have been suffering from a very, very, very heavy cold for about the last week or so. I'm on the downside of it now, but it's a cold layered on top of what has been an already bad allergy season. So, but at any rate, I review these various pieces of equipment, studio equipment, do live streams and gameplay videos talking through how the equipment's performing, what it was like setting it up, etc., etc. And just try to put a lot of information out there for streamers and Let's Play creators, so that you guys don't have to buy all those different pieces of equipment. You can kind of listen to my experiences and draw your conclusions from that, and make more targeted... What the McHale? Wait, what was that? And make more targeted selections when buying your own studio gear. And while I'm doing that, I play a bunch of different video games. So I'm a variety streamer, if you want to call it that. I am not someone who plays just Fortnite or just PUBG over and over and over and over and over again. Although I get that there is a market for that, and I appreciate those guys for what they do. There are people who want that content. I'm somebody who believes in... You know, play what you like, stream what you love. You know, don't stream, so I don't necessarily stream whatever the hot ticket is. Again, full respect for the people who do that. I don't do that because I'm not a huge entertainer, right? I'm not super funny or witty. Most of my strengths are on the technical side, like I said, investigating and reviewing and testing all these components of hardware. So my objective is to be more informational, less entertaining, because again, I don't do the entertainment thing so well. So and I'm really bummed that I drafted up this first homework assignment for the E2KG podcast, and it looks like I'm going to be the one who doesn't get it completed. Great. But I was also severely hampered by getting this cold, so... And really, I've had equally vested interest in running this experiment of live streaming to Facebook as well. Now, I've live streamed to Facebook several times before. I have not gone full bore into engaging in this, I guess what Facebook is calling their gaming video creator role or whatever. So, what the heck happened there? Bounced me out of the live stream for no damn reason in the Facebook app. So what I do each month, just to continue defining the shtick, is right now what I do is I do regularly scheduled live streams What the cahoon? Right, so each month I pick generally one late night times block and one early AM time block, and I live stream then. That's just what's manageable between work and family and my other stuff. Whoa, witch, wizard. Now, part of my problem is I have a blasted sword arm, so that's not going to do me good against a flying enemy. Engram! Slide! Oh, no, 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 no. What do I have too much of? Kinetic. Let me fix that problem. Hopefully nobody bugs me while I'm here around the corner. Kinetic. 319, 29, so it's a 20. 313. I hate to get rid of that one though. Alright. Stuck on something there. Ooh. Nah, he's not worth a sword. Oh, whoa, no, 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 no. We don't want any of that. Looks like I caught them in a glitch. Got them to bounce around off of each other before they came after me. Who's shooting that? Resilient Vandal. Ooh, very nice. Oh, not paying attention. Not paying attention. So I'm talking about blow that thing up. If I gotta go down to a pit, never winds up good when you have to go into a pit. So what I do each month is I pick a different one, usually, of the 5 services to live stream to. So in September, I live streamed to Twitter as my focus service. And this month, I'm spending time on Facebook. Now, there are things you can use to rebroadcast your stream. And so I could choose, if I wanted to, at any point, to live stream to all of the services. I don't do that because my whole point is to test the services and test the experience and test the community and really extract what it's like to be a dedicated creator member of that community as much as I can, right? It's a little difficult to do that because I don't generate the following that I would potentially if I just stayed on, stuck with one community and had recurrent visitors, right? But I feel like in order to effectively test and be able to comment on, you know, what's the difference between live streaming to Facebook and live streaming to Twitter and being a Twitter game streamer I feel like you have to kind of live on the surface. You don't get the same experience if you just rebroadcast your live stream. Whoa. Oh, okay. Maybe this is a good time for a sword. Apparently. The game would agree. Well, what was that?
That had to hurt.
So like I said, last month I live streamed to Twitter, this month I'm live streaming to Facebook. Oh, Ingram. Oh, okay. Good thing there wasn't anything up here, because there's lots of explodey things over there, right where that Ingram dropped. Huh. This keyboard is not set at a great ergonomic level. It's definitely causing my hand to cramp up. So let's go ahead and start running down the tech that is in play tonight to render the live stream.
Watch out!
Whoa! Yeah, good thing he said that while I was distracted looking up the time on my watch. So first of all, I am gaming at what I call Desktop 4 at Workstation 6. So this is the secondary Uberboxen, although it was actually the first Uberboxen that I ever built. Now the Uberboxen are my PCs they're DIY builds that I spec'd to be able to handle VR, PC gaming, and also to handle video editing duties. So as you know, those are things that require slightly different specifications or slightly different strengths, right? You can build a good video editing machine with a high-end processor, high memory, and not have to worry too much about a GPU. I should say video editing and streaming. Now with streaming, you can benefit from a good GPU as well. In fact, the streaming PC, which I'll talk about in a little bit, has a very low-end processor. It has an Intel Core i3 CPU, but it has an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 6GB card, which is still, the low-end 1000 series card. At least it was at the outset of that generation of NVIDIA's architecture, the Pascal architecture. But it is strong enough to, you set OBS to use the video card for the encoding. Now, okay, so it actually does quite well. So originally I built this to be a video editing and streaming PC, so it was spec'd out with the AMD Ryzen CPU, but my primary gaming PC had two NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070s in it, rated in SLI. And now when Destiny 2 came out last year and didn't support SLI, I was like, that's it, I'm done. Like, if the premier PC game shooter just launched and Bungie felt like it wasn't worth their time to support SLI, then that means SLI really isn't a thing, and I could stop constantly being disappointed about having this super high-end spec'd-out rig with two, 1070s in it that I can never leverage, basically. So I salvaged that card from the primary gaming PC, put it in this machine, which I had just built to be my new primary live streaming and video editing workstation, and created the first Uberboxing, or my first Uberboxing. So since that time, I also went to upgrade the RAM on this because it originally had 16 gigs of RAM. Just because from cost constraints, I was not able to.
For ether production, probably.
I was not able to kit it out with 32 gigs of RAM. That was one of the places I shaved costs.
No reason.
So when I went to bump it to 32, I encountered some mechanical constraints. What is going on here? Okay, usually enemies do not spawn from behind you. Okay. What is... There was one more guy here and I lost track of him because I wasn't paying attention. So when I went to bump this machine to 32 gigs of RAM, I encountered some mechanical constraints because the cooling shroud that I have on the CPU here. Well, when I went to upgrade that RAM, I was also in this new thing I have of, oh, did I just bump a light level? Yep. I was heading down this path of, whoa, you sneaky monkey Tucker. Yeah, that's not... No. The way this trash spawning is going, it's making this level a problem. Yeah, so I'm currently on this thing to convert as many gaming peripherals over to Corsair as I possibly can, just because I've lived this life of like having 59 different vendor peripherals in the studio. I was like, why don't you pick a thing and go with a thing, right? You can stick with a thing and make it a thing. So And so I decided for this year that vendor would be Corsair. That's whose stuff I'm trying to go with and stick with for the most part. And as years go by, I'll switch that up. But anyway, I was putting their Vengeance RGB RAM in this machine, and I couldn't put both sticks. I bought two 16 gig sticks of RAM, and I couldn't fit both in there.
I can't believe that captain's still ahead of us. He's much cleverer than most of the captains we've met. Well, I say met, but you know what I mean.
Because it wouldn't, you can't tuck it underneath the cooling shroud. There's not enough clearance. I hate it when I do that. So what I had to do is I had to combine one of the 16 gig sticks I bought with one of the 8 gig sticks that I had, that gave me a 16 gig stick left over.
Do we like the Hive or Fallen better?
Is that really the dude I was chasing? Did I just... No. No, he's not. Oh, that's gonna... Yeah.
I think that captain just gave us the reactor. You think you understand the Fallen, and then... Well, let's take it. Sloane's waiting.
Transmat.
You'll never guess what happened.
You killed a captain and found a methane reactor?
We didn't kill him. He let us have it. Just looked at us and left.
Fascinating. This
This is Destiny 2, Salvatore.
a complicated place.
Oh,
That perhaps
stepped
there
on
are
the cord.
more things in the heavens that can be dreamt of in our philosophy. At any rate, bring in your prize, Guardian.
So I had an extra 16 gigabyte stick of Corsair RGB RAM left over. I put that over in the primary gaming PC, the one that I said that I salvaged the GTX 1070 from, and so that created the second Uberboxen, which is actually, though technically now by specs is the primary Uberboxen. So I have two PCs that I refer to as Uberboxen. This is the secondary one of those. So this PC is powered by an AMD Ryzen 5 1600X CPU, 32 gigabytes of DDR4 2666 megahertz RAM, a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070. This is a Founders Edition card that's in this case. It sits in a Thermaltake Core V21 case, which is basically a cube. So if you imagine a mid-tower ATX case, it's basically you cut the mid-tower ATX case in half along the horizontal axis, and then put the two pieces side by side, so it's half as tall as a regular mid-tower ATX case, but twice as wide. It's a very convenient case to build in. So Salvatore's asking if it's just for PC. So this is for this version that I'm playing is on PC. Destiny 2, however, is also available for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Now, part of my problem is I don't know where the heck it is I'm supposed to go. Can't summon the bikey bike here. So I guess that's where I need to get back to. Can I just fast travel? Yes. And I also have a crap ton of fans in this case. So I have it's got a big 200mm exhaust fan in the front, or intake fan in the front, exhaust fans in the back. But probably the coolest thing is I have 4 fans mounted in the top of the case, which is drilled to allow airflow in through the top of the case.
I know it's a longer route, but we cannot guarantee safe passage.
And I have 2 intake fans on the left-hand side and then 2 exhaust fans on the right-hand side. So, pretty happy with that configuration.
We didn't even know existed. We brought a little bit of the golden age back to life today, and hell, who knows what tomorrow will bring.
just got dropped in today.
Okay, so there's nothing there. New rifle. New pulse rifle, legendary. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize this, but slowly, and almost without noticing it, I'm just realizing that all my gear is becoming legendary. Let's see. No. Multiple engrams, I guess. I need to head back.
Well, I'm here for you.
So I gotta head back to the city then. Get those things
Next time we
decrypted.
set up the secret base on a dry planet. Shore up our comm towers. If something happens in the reef, I don't want to.
So those are the specs on the PC that I'm gaming on. Let's go ahead and talk about what's being used to actually render the live stream tonight. So for a video game capture card, I'm using the Mirrorbox HSV 321, which is a $99 card from Amazon. It's one of my favorite gaming capture cards in that it's just dead simple to use. I also kind of like the fact that both connectors on the device are both USB-A, so there's no farkling around with a tiny connector and then a regular connector on the other side, so it's kind of a little more convenient, a little quicker to set up. It is just capable of 1080p pass-through and recording. It does record at 1080p 60 frames per second, so that is something that I need to test and verify. For a couple people who've asked, they're a little concerned about the cost of the card, feeling that that they've seen other cards of similar price that have recorded at 720p but then upscaled the picture. I don't think that's what's going on here, but I need to monkey around with some specific test setups to actually verify that. For a webcam tonight, this is one of my favorite cameras. I'm using the Zoom Q8 handy video recorder. That is a semi-pro level camera that's really built for musicians, for them to record live performances or rehearsals. It has some crazy great microphones that attach to it, these little daughter cards that attach and plug in directly to the camera, and then it has highly functional spectrum controls for the microphone feeds right on the touchscreen UI. And I forget the exact resolution that it's capable of recording in. It's higher than 1080p, but it's not quite 4K. It's some weird, funky in-between resolution. But it's absolutely one of the Q8, and I have two of their other cameras, the Q2N. They're an absolute joy to work with, and particularly for the microphone capability. Now, I don't always use the microphones for the voiceover commentary. The Zoom Q8, I have the condenser microphone array that plugs directly to the camera, but what it also has, you can actually run 4 microphones in the thing. The condenser microphone array that some of the kits come with has 2 condenser microphones, but it also has plugins, connections on the back panel for two XLR microphones. YouTube can't handle more than one audio track anyway, so I tend to not record multiple audio tracks that frequently, although sometimes I do that for local captures because it makes it easier if the audio mix balance isn't correct. But I am actually using an XLR mic input. This is the first time I'm using this setup, so it's actually under test. I've been pretty happy with the results from last week's live stream, where I live streamed some of the game Dying Light. But I'm using a Liegi L58 XLR microphone with a pop filter and foam ball windscreen on it. And like I said, I'm running from the microphone directly into the Zoom Q8 with an XLR cable. There are USB drivers available for Windows for that camera, and so I have those installed on the streaming PC, and then I just run the camera over to the streaming PC, and it has both the webcam video and the voiceover commentary on it, so it's pretty dope. And then for the in-game audio, so I can hear it, and so you don't hear the game audio bleeding over into the microphone, I'm wearing a pair of Razer Tournament Edition Destiny 2 Man of War headphones. So the whole reason I came here is to get this engram decrypted. But what is that? It's going to be a kinetic weapon. So let's get that taken care of first. So what did I say? Kinetic weapon that I gotta get rid of. Alright, left click to store it. Now, I am not really good. I'm not so versed in Destiny lore that I know all the categorizations of all the equipment, so often I see this thing, and yeah, this is the case. That auto rifle is actually an energy weapon, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever.
City itself.
So fine. I guess the only reason I'm stockpiling some of these weapons is just for other characters. Now all of that equipment is being run over to my streaming PC, which I still refer to as my secondary gaming PC because that's the purpose it was built for. As I mentioned a little bit before, it is powered by an
At your service.
Intel Everver's bounty note.
Eververse thanks you.
Okay.
Thanks for shopping Eververse, Guardian. Don't get too distracted by the new setup, Guardian.
So the streaming PC is powered by an Intel Core i3. I think it's like a 6120. It's the designation, 6920 maybe. It is the it's a 6th generation Intel Core i3. It's the highest Core i3 from the 6th generation. After that, you bump up to a Core i5, so whatever that CPU was. Yeah, I don't think I need to buy another engram. Where's the fun in that?
Going to take some serious money.
So that's powered by an Intel Core i3, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 6 gigabyte card, 6 gigabyte GPU.
Very nice there. Ready for reassignment. Our sub-base is level. Only 4 been clean and certified safe for use.
Go with the Nessus Pursuit. Oh, didn't click. Cool. It's already got a shader. That's fine, that's fine.
Task list updated. Our sub-base is level. Only 4 been clean and certified safe for use. Scheduling costs.
Hey, what's up, Salvatore? From Mexico.
New tasks must be submitted through the proper channels. Payment pending.
So I don't know why Facebook does that.
There are tasks to be completed. Move along.
Yeah, thanks for joining the live stream, Salvatore. Always more pleasant to have people around to talk to. Alright. Oop.
Service log updated. Daily tasks underway. Numerous sub-base level. Only 4 been clean and certified safe for use. Sorry, sir. I don't understand.
Okay, so I don't have a transmat mod. Okay, that's gonna do. Let's figure out where to go from here. Is there anything else to do on Titan? Yeah, there's some minor stuff to do there. Alright, so I maybe have maybe 10, 11 more minutes that I'm willing to put in, that I can put in. When the... I've never seen that animation before. What the flip? never seen it pull out to that wide-angle view of the planet before, and weird. It's 2 minutes for that ritual. I really need to do this public event. Oh, where is the public event now? Thanks, Salvatore. Wishing me good luck. Or no, is there a public? Is it that there's a public event already underway? Is that one of those guys part of the public event? What in the heck is going on there? Yeah, it wasn't my plan to engage in this public event if there weren't any other Guardians over here. Oh. I will beat you to death. Okay, perhaps not. Oh, no, he didn't. This is often I have to remind myself to, as powerful as a guardian you become, to always remember that you still have to fight smart. Oh, really? Okay. Oh. Complete overkill and unnecessary. Oh, there's another captain. Not nearly as bad as the other guy. Alright, let me just... Oh. There's a arcadey thingy. Alkane. Alright, let me go ahead and find my marked adventure thingy. Really? Is that the one that... That has to be the one that I marked, yeah. Alright.
My crew says we've got two problems. Wizards on a tower roof doing who knows what, and the Fallen they've spooked.
So who do we fight?
Fallen first.
Okay,
They're using
let's...
fuel cells to build an explosive countermeasure to the hive. Sloppy stuff.
Who's doing
It'll blow us all
what?
sky high.
Disarm the Fallen 306 fuel cells. Oh, target-rich environment. You were originally not worthy of even my notice. Now you're just making me angry. Oh, we still need to run the fuel cell. Wait, is this a loot crate over here? Sit right out of the open? Come on, Bungie. Recon view here. Now, one thing about Guardians is they are very good for attracting unnecessary... Ooh.
We've got their fuel cells. They won't be blowing up anything today. I see what they were using. Volatile catenary percussion cap.
Good. Sending you coordinates to the hive.
Right, coordinates. Hive. If we tweak this and rejigger that, that should work.
What should work?
We'll call it a hive disruptor. Let's go disrupt some hive.
So, I'm getting some decent Destiny 2 play time in here, but I have a lot of explaining to do to my co-host tomorrow as to why... Why I didn't get any time in faction systems. I did play a little Skyrim, so maybe that'll count. Do not want to use a rocket launcher. It's way overkill. Really? Fall. Whoa. Huh.
The Fallen depend on their servitors to provide a substance called ether. But this one's been picked clean of ether and abandoned.
So I think Salvatore's looking for something like PUBG or Fortnite that is available on phone just as well as PC or consoles, and I was saying, well, maybe Bungie will do that for Destiny 3. Maybe they'll see the advantages that Epic is getting from having their game available. And I know they're not all Battle Royale games, but I think the point is still germane. Or maybe by then Activision will have built out a service that allows you to stream their games to any platform. That kind of startled me. I do not know why the Facebook app... Nope. I don't know why the Facebook app just closes you out. Yeah, Facebook is really hacking me off. It's got all sorts of tomfoolery at it. Don't need a bunch of tutorials on how to gain more followers while I'm in the middle of a damn live stream. Just let me manage the stream and monitor the stream. Ooh, what was that? That sounds a little intimidating. Let's see what's going on here. Stealth drop. Kill. Not really. Whoa, no, night. No, night. No, night. I don't know why you gotta be busting all around the corner. Are you about to heap somebody? Oh. Ah, sentry. Shrieker. Whoa! Felt like he was that kid in Pulp Fiction who comes running out of the room. Winds up getting shot by Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta. Oh. These that acolyte sure looked like he bamfed. I didn't think acolytes could bamf. It's never good when you have to go into a pit. Of course, behind me. In the opposite direction. Let you do the pit drop. So gaming peripherals, I haven't really talked about those in this setup. I'm playing using the Corsair K70 Mark II. So this is a new keyboard that Corsair came out with this year. I have the, I don't know exactly what they call it. It's the white version. I forget what they call that, they call it something. They don't call it white. But it's some kind of special edition of the board. Now you might get a, nah, okay, good, I'm glad I didn't. I was about to say, you might get a rocket launcher. Playing with the assault rifle too much. Need to use the hand cannon a little bit more. Oh! So this is one of the cool things I like about streaming. So if everything is on the up and up here, you know, Salvador is from Mexico. He doesn't see every new game like we do. Maybe, or maybe he's just a younger gamer and, you know, hasn't. But a cool thing about streaming is that, what? Man, chill out with all that noise. But dang! As it introduces, you know, it exposes people to games that they might not have otherwise seen, or, you know. But yeah, one of the reasons I got into live streaming was because I know, there's lots of times that I'm thinking about buying.
Which way, Sloan?
You're looking for the top of a tower, the central platform.
I'm thinking about buying a game that I had missed or passed on when it released, and I want to see some gameplay of it, but I don't want to see the trailer, just the trailer, or some canned gameplay, from a dev or something. I want to see, the actual experience that other gamers, from Steam or whatever. No, don't. I've had with the game, so I feel like that's a good use of. Are you kidding me? A good reason to view live streams. So I think those experiences that you see are a bit more authentic and kind of goes along with my jive of, not particularly valuing the experiences of people who just consume a small amount of a thing and demo it, but what's the gameplay like from somebody who's really living in Destiny and playing it frequently, or has had it a long time and pulls it out of their backlog every once in a while.
Destroy their project and stabilize this rig.
Great. I absolutely despise all the platforming on Titan. Seriously gives me the heebie-jeebies and vertigo. Oh, is that thing gonna explode?
What was that? I can feel the shaking from here. What did you do?
Oh.
Tell you later.
Thanks, Ghost. I didn't know you were gonna kick off a respawning restricted thing though. Second wizard. I guess these things are called wizards. I always call them witches. Should've. Oh, no, he did not! Oh, that makes me angry. It totally died. Unbelievable. Did he really not see me pop up behind him like that? Yeah, this, I think I don't like about this level is I think you have to that's just murder. Dunk. Really? That's 100%? Come on. Oh, okay. Wow. Those wizards really don't like the kinetic weapons. Whoa, what's going on here? Defeat the hive. Hive wave defeated 0%. This is just like spamming. Would have to flip and reload. Wait, joining allies? One thing that makes me very uncomfortable with Destiny 2 is when you get... Oh, okay. Yeah, you're worthy of a rocket launcher. Get this sucker out first of all.
How bad's the damage?
Minimal. Nothing your crew can't fix in a day or two. Really, it looks as good as new. More importantly, the resonator's gone.
I'll take your word for it.
Alright, very cool. Alright, everybody, that's going to do it for me for the live stream. I am going to head to the city and sort some gear, but that is never any fun for anybody to watch, so I will not put you through that. I will send you out with the dulcet tones of my waiting for stream to start scene. And unfortunately, I just didn't, I forgot to look up the artist's name on that. But I will try and append their credit to this video. But thanks so much for joining in on the live stream, especially for the people who happen by on Facebook. I do really appreciate that. Live streams will be here for the month of October. In the regularly scheduled time slots as much as possible. Every once in a while I have some logistics things that make that a little bit difficult. Like I said, I'm coming off travel tonight. I had a cold. I came back from not being in the studio for 3 days. GeForce NVIDIA dropped new drivers. I had to set up another scene overlay in OBS, so unfortunately we got started a little late, but I think it wound up being productive overall. But normally, live streams will be here Monday nights from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern, and then Wednesday mornings from 4:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Please swing by and drop by those times. Again, they will be live streamed to Facebook. Quite honestly, I haven't really checked. I think you can view them even if you don't have a Facebook account. If you see the link come out on Twitter, I think you can get to a page that streams it publicly. And of course, if you have a Facebook account, you can just log in and view it there. Keep an eye out for me when I do ad hoc live streams also on Facebook. I don't know what you have to do, but I know when I go into Facebook, game video creators are in a menu line above my friends list. So keep an eye out for me there. Otherwise, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for joining in. Once again, my name has been Against Stamos from GearWorks.com and the E2KG Network podcasting channel on YouTube. Head over to YouTube to the E2KG Network channel and check out our series of podcasts. Right now, we're covering, our entertainment crew is covering The Gifted. The movies guys are doing their standard shtick of twice a month we do podcast reviews of movies that have dropped onto Netflix or any other streaming service, but predominantly Netflix. We've got the What's Your Issue comic book podcast that has just recently started and normally records on Monday nights. We didn't record tonight because Steven was sick and I wasn't feeling great myself. But we will definitely be back next week doing our podcast review show of comic books that will have shipped Wednesday the 10th of October. And then every week we also do the Enough to Keep Going gaming podcast, either covering gaming news and deep dive analysis, or on alternating weeks our GX show, where we talk about what we've done for our gaming homework for the 2 weeks in between the two gaming shows per month. So thanks once again for joining in. That's going to do it for me. I'm out of here.